What's up, everybody? My name is Kason. Welcome back to the WDL. This is the Season 3 Playoffs Week 1, or rather the play-ins or round of 20, whatever the hell you want to call it. This is our first round of the playoffs where we have the 4 and 5 seed facing off against each other of each division. That means the Rundle 4 and 5, Leonis 4 and 5, Heinler and Wazette all facing off against each other. So each one of these series today will be a rematch from the regular season. After that, we are going to intermingle some of the divisions in round 2, as you can see in this bracket here. Now, last time I was in here, one thing I didn't do was zoom in or anything like that on this picture, so I will try and do that as we go here. And so right from the jump here, I'm going to zoom in on the top part of the bracket here. I should have done this last time so that it's easier for people to see, but regardless, this is what we're looking at. So the first round for today, we've got Machen X of the Shoe Metal Alchemist versus Highwind of Tears for Spears. Highwind sneaking into the playoffs in that last final week. Will he be able to pull off the upset versus Machen X, or will Machen X win? We'll have to find out. In the second series for today is going to be Katra of Sandrock right here versus Jesus LBL of the Straw Hats. Again, two teams who clinched playoff spots in that final week. The third match will be Maverick of Spaghetti Western versus Spike of Bebop's Crew, a Season 2 Heinler division series, so that'll be kind of interesting. Maverick and Spike were both in Heinler last season, and they were also both in Heinler this season. So interesting to see two teams, who have battled it out for 2 seasons in a row, still going at it. And now finally, the fourth and final series will be between Chise of the Heretics and my team, the Xanderkin Abes. This is my first time ever being in the playoffs, so even if I do lose, it is still farther than I ever have made it before, but I'm going to try my best and see what happens. So we've got 4 awesome series for you guys today. Before we jump into them, though, I'm going to scroll back up here just to explain who plays who. I reached out to the 1 seed of all 4 divisions for this week and basically said, hey, you have 3 teams who you can potentially play next week. Rank them in order of how you would prefer to play them. For Surf Taco of Reagan Against the Machine, those 3 teams are the Leonis 3, 4, and 5 seeds. So King Delita of Arknights, Machen X of Shoe Metal Alchemist, and Highwind of Tears for Spears. So even though he is the 1 seed, he is not guaranteed to face the lowest seed remaining. It is his choice to put those 3 teams in order of how he wants them, and whatever the most preferred one is that still remains after this week will be who he faces. I did the same thing all the way down. Sand Rooster here was going through essentially Katra, Jesus LBL, and Coppola. Ram 9 of the Rock Boys went through Maverick, Spike of Bebop's Crew, Crimson Lease of the Triumphant Trailblazers, and JB79 was Chise of the Heretics, my team the Xanderkin Abes, and Numero 80 of the Blind Enthusiasts. So hopefully that makes sense for you guys as to who plays who in the next round. After we are done with all the matches, I'll show the updated bracket, and it's going to look a lot more clean than this will. But regardless, I'm excited to get into these matches. Before we do, though, I just want to give a huge shout out to all the YouTube members. I've said this many times, but thank you guys so much for doing all this. Shout out to Jesus LBL for being the newest member to join as well. Awesome person, awesome just player, everything. Super cool guy. And he's actually playing in this round this week, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. So without further ado, guys, we've got 4 awesome best of 3s. Let's check them out. All right, guys, before we head into the series, I just wanted to say in terms of the map selection, the higher seed chose 3 maps, sent it to the lower seed, and the lower seed chose one of those maps to play on. So it gives a slight home field advantage to the better seed. That's how we determined for this week. Show Me Your Power coming up from the Keft of Machen X and the Shoe Metal Alchemist, kicking off this first playoff series against Highwind and Tears for Spears. With that barrier coming online for Glaciella with the AoE buff on Raldor. Raldor's going to walk forward immediately with a Taunting Blade onto Zazan, and he is completely out of AP. That is not what you want, I think, if you are a Highwind. And this map is a very, very weird one with the Psy Cannon coming out from Zoma doing about 5,000 damage. The positioning is just all out of whack here with the Fire Aga coming out from Mish only doing 1,200 damage. Machen X is in a very good position, I think, at the moment. Jamming Edge coming down, dropping the healing power on Raldor. I don't think that's going to matter a whole lot, but Come On Let's Play is going to kill the Raldor, and that is going to matter a whole lot. Machen X is now up to a 3v2 lead in this game number 1. Oblivion's Presence coming out from the Zoma, and he doesn't know where the hell he's going. He's going backwards as Shining Conviction does a good chunk to the Zazan. Again, this coastline map is one of the weirdest maps I think we have in War of the Visions. I think it's actually the Guild Battle map coming up soon. As Firaga goes on to the Zazan, he does manage to live. Hyperdrive only doing 2,800. And I will say, this Glaciella might be able to carry here But it's going to be tough with a Zoma in the back with that elemental advantage, but she has tons of AP to play with, and it is now in a 2v2. Zoma, can he get in range? Yes, he can. Sai can, and 3,600 damage. Dropping the Bravery could be pretty significant in terms of mitigating her damage here, as this is a hyperdrive coming out from Kefka. It's going to one-shot the Mish, and Glaciella is... Oh boy, reflex coming out from Kefka, and that's not even an AoE, it's just onto him. I imagine Zoma should be able to at least finish this or come close to it. Psy Cannon does 7,000 damage, it's going to do just that. And Machen X of the Shoe Metal Alchemist with a very impressive Game 1 victory. Heading into Game 2 here, what's going to be the switch-up coming out from Highwind, as it looks like Machen X is running the same composition. This time, there is a Slime out on the battlefield with the regular Glaciella, as Way of the Void comes out. A smart move trying to increase both fire and ice resistance, which is the main damage source that Machen X had in Game number 1. As Kefka's going to go with that AoE buff, Raldor's going to follow it up with a Pugilistic Mastery, and Acceleratal coming out from the Slime, going to get agility up on the entire party. I will say, though, I don't know if you want your Slime that far out ahead, but again, with how weird this map is, with multiple just channels completely blocking the road, essentially, it'll be interesting to see. Dragon's Bloodline coming out from the Zazan to try and mitigate those hugely impactful statuses, as it looks like a Terror Slash doing about 3,500 onto the Zazan. Honestly, tanked that fairly well here. For only a 30 cost unit, Zazan is doing a lot of work in these first two games, but a lot of damage from the Raldor onto the Kefka. Hyperdrive would have one-shot Slime, but it doesn't. And was there healing power down there? I don't think there was. I'm wondering if Highwind doesn't realize the Trust Stone tech with Slime to make sure that he heals himself back up to full, because he did not heal himself to full there. And this might be actually really bad for him, because if Dance of the Mad goes off, Slime is going to die. He did not get himself all the way back up to 100% and above that courage threshold, and that is rough to see. Maybe something that Highwind forgot on accident, or he doesn't know, I'm not sure. But Jamming Edge comes down for 2,000 damage. Maybe there was healing power down and I just missed it. Demolition Fist coming out from the Raldor is going to steal the kill onto the Zazan. It is now down to a 2v2 again, but this Zoma is looming in the back. He is a very powerful unit. One that a lot of people forget about is another hyper reactivity comes out from Kefka. That means Glaciella is not going to be able to get any sort of AP here. And it looks like Forsaken cannot quite kill the Raldor here. Can he follow up with anything? He's only got 1 AP. Pugilistic Mastery is going to get refreshed. Glaciella is going to go next, but again, she has no AP. And he hyper reactivities again. Oh man, I don't know if that would have made a massive difference, but I expect Zoma and Kefka to clean this up here. And Machen X, the 4 seed of the Leonis division, looks like he is probably going to take a 2-0 series victory here, and he is going to get Highwind out of the playoffs. A very impressive series by Machen X and the Shoe Metal Alchemist. Those reflexes weren't very fortunate for him in Game 2. I don't know if he would have lost. I think he probably wins, but it's probably still close, or very close at that moment. GG's to Highwind all season. He played very well, had a very legitimate team, and honestly, just a really impressive season. One team who's been crushing it all season is Sand Rooster of Unicorn Gunfight. And shout out to Highwind, because Highwind is the only person to beat him yet to this point. So Highwind, unfortunately, not going to advance in the playoffs. Machen X, congratulations on the 2-0 series victory, though. And we've got 3 more matches to check out. Let's jump into the next one. Game number 1 here of Jesus LBL's the Straw Hats versus Catra of Sandrock. A couple of teams who qualified for playoffs in that final week. Who will continue to go on and who will be sent packing? Aurora Blessings coming out from the Tifa. Trying to get some light resist, I expect, as the resist magic coming out from the Edward Elric here. But it looks like there's not a light unit on Catra's side. Maybe Jesus thinking that Sternwing of Destiny would come out, but he did not. It looks like a couple of Fire Glove users along with the Fryevia, Chi Barrier on Revelka, a Track Barrier on Fryevia, and the Haste TMR on Roy. And here we go. Keen Blade coming out from the Ravies to try and get that CT up and Slash Tack up. Tifa should go next. Unyielding Stance will get her Courage online. And that'll help her at least live a couple of hits here. As Automail's Crux comes out for the Edward. He's ready to dispel. He's ready to do a ton of damage. And Fuel to the Fire is on for Roy Mustang here. Revelka, excuse me. Ravies is going to walk forward for 2,000 damage on Bedeviling Blade. The status effect will not land. Deflagration Blast, though, debuffs a few different things onto the Ravies, dealing about 3k damage here. Not too bad of a start, but she is a very, very healthy girl here as Silence Blade lands onto the Ravies, but she's a physical damage dealer. That really won't matter much. Adamantine Pillar doing about 4,000 to the tank, considering the elemental disadvantage. Not too bad here. And Addison Rae almost kills Ravies from the Roy Mustang. 9,000 damage, but Tifa is ready to go with the somersault combo. This is going to hit Fryevia. Does it kill? It should. 45-29. No, I was thinking that she had Ravies' health bar, not her own, which means she lives another hit. Deflagration Blast will take out the Ravies here. 3v2 in favor of Catra, and Roy Mustang is ready to deal a lot of damage here. True Triple Combustion is a ton. Crucially, does not proc the Courage on Tifa, though, and Edward should find at least one kill here. He does. He finds two. And now it is Revelka versus 2, and Jesus LBL might just be able to pull this off still. Star Shower comes out for a 3-hitter. No, I'm sorry, 4-hitter. I forgot how big of a chain that is. Gets through her barrier. Twin Chi Rupture, though, kills Edward, procs the Courage on Tifa, and now the question is, Tifa, can she one-shot from here? True Strike, 5,200 damage. Revelka lives with 119 health. Deflagration Blast comes out, kills the Tifa, and somehow Revelka pulls off the 1v2 and wins Catra game 1. GG. Heading into game number 2 here, it looks like Catra's rocking the same team, so is Jesus, but I wonder if Jesus adjusted anything, considering it looked like he was prepped for the light team last time, and he almost still won it. Unparalleled strength coming out from the Tifa. Edward's going to go with the resist magic buff to try and prepare for all that magic damage on the other side. Probably a smart move here. The Padfoot team are coming out from Roy Mustang just like game 1. Revelka, I imagine, should be Chi Barrier. It is. Critical evasion up that 3-hit barrier. Fryevia's going to do the same thing. It's only a magic barrier, though, which really won't do her much, but it does at least give her some hate. As Steelheart comes out from the Ravies, a very cool move by Jesus here, but the charm will not land, and Fuel to the Fire is here for Roy Mustang. And he did quite a bit of damage last time, but Revelka was really the MVP of the fight, I think, as Overpower does just over 3k to the Fryevia. Automail's Crux is on for Edward, so he's locked and loaded, ready to go. And what can the MVP of game 1 get done here? Deflagration Blast, not too bad. Honestly, Ravi's tanked that quite well, and Tifa only 3,400. Not too bad if you're Jesus, but the Spell Veil Blade is going to heal up Fryevia quite a bit. True Triple Combustion comes out. Tifa did not get her Courage on mine. And now this is looking brutal for Jesus. This is a 2v3. Blinding Cross can hit all 3. Going to blind the Fryevia, but Edward needs to do so much damage here. He's going to go Adamantine Pillar. It does kill the Roy, but Fryevia is still alive, and we saw how much damage this Revelka did last time. She goes Dispelling Double Shot, removes the buff off of Ravies, but can't find the AoE on Edward, which is massive here. Knight's Blessing, though, from Fryevia is going to full heal, basically, the party. What can Edward get done? Adamantine Pillar, 4,400 onto the Revelka. He needs one more hit, I believe, to kill this Revelka, as the stun lands onto Fryevia. Curious to see how much that ends up mattering here. Deflagration Blast is going to kill the Ravies. Fryevia would have went next here if not for that stun. Does this end up mattering? Because does Roy find a double kill? Needs to kill Revelka this time. Wallbreaker kills her. And I will say, Fryevia, can you one-shot here? 133 AP. No, she's going to go defensive. She's going for the full life. She's going to full life the Roy. It lands. Where is the CT, though? Edward's going to go next. He one-shot Roy last time. Can he do it again? No, Fryevia somehow laps, but does basically no damage to Edward. He finds the double kill still. And man, I honestly thought Catra was going to turn that here in game 2, but somehow Jesus LBL pulls it off and sends it to a game 3. So the team that will be advancing out of the Rundall division will be the winner of the next game. Let's check it out. Heading into game number 3 here, Jesus LBL, who was a Season 1 semi-finalist, and Catra, who didn't make the playoffs last season, but looking to try and make a name for himself this season. Who will end up winning it? Unparalleled strength coming out from the Tifa. Resist magic again from the Edward. And this looks like the exact same setup from both teams here. This is the exact same positioning, if I'm not mistaken. Padfoot comes out from Roy. And so you have to wonder here, what is the adjustment coming out from Catra? Unless he thinks that it was just a little bit of RNG that went against him. Or is there some sort of Esper or equipment change-up? Keenblade coming out from the Ravies, and this is all looking very, very familiar. Tifa's going to go next with the Overpower Plus. Going to drop the accuracy, although that's really probably not going to matter much. And everything is pretty much step for step, just like last game. What does Roy Mustang do here, though? Addison Rae comes out for 4,500 damage onto the Tifa. Blade Bash coming out from the Ravies. The stun does not land. I don't remember if Tifa was actually this far forward last time. I know she died somewhat early, but we'll have to see. Dispelling Double Shot goes on to the Ravi's. Omni Strike doing a good chunk of damage to the Freyevia, but I imagine she should go for a heal here. She will. She's going to go for Knight's Blessing, and this is one of the best things about Freyevia is that AI of hers. And we're going to go with the Adamantine Pillar, but it only lands onto her. He cannot find the angle on any one of the other units, and Roy Mustang's ready to do some damage. True Triple Combustion comes out, and again, that Courage was not online for Tifa. She never got a moment to do it, and that haste is so fast. Roy Mustang's going to snap his fingers, find a second kill here, and now it is a 1v3 for Jesus's Edward. But can he one-shot Roy? He did it last time. If he does it again, he's got a chance. He cannot. Wallbreaker comes out, kills Freyevia, but he can't kill either one of the other units. And is that going to do it? Roy Mustang's going to come up, all-consuming flame, does 8,500 damage, and Catra of Sandrock ends up picking up the 2-1 series victory over Jesus LBL. An incredibly well-played series by both teams, but it looks like the adjustment on Roy, making himself tanky enough to live a hit from Edward, which honestly is no easy task. Very, very well played by both teams. Had a great time watching them all season, and congratulations to Catra. Next up to bat, we've got the Heinler 4 and 5 seed. We've got Maverick Spaghetti Western with the Glaciella composition. Twin Glaciellas along with the Zazan. Spirit of Wazette coming out from the Flag Bearer version. What is the OG version going to go for? It's going to be Leap Strike. Wow. This map is very, very close together. She immediately goes without buffing at all. And what is this team coming out from Spike? Something I did not expect to see. Judgment Blade coming out from an Agrius with Kotetsu Plus dealing quite a bit of damage from Gilgamesh. And another hard carry of Eileen. Nighthawk will take out Glaciella. I don't know what this composition is from Spike, but I am loving it. And this is an early 3v2 in Spike's favor. Murder's Blade doing about 3,600 damage, but if any unit could carry this, it is this Glaciella Flagbearer. Maiming Slash does 3,700, dropping the healing power as well. But so much happened so fast. A lot of these units I don't think will really have AP here. Gilgamesh only has 17. He's going to do Paralyzing Edge, which means he is basically fresh out. Eileen does have 59 though. That is a bit surprising to me. Shadow Capture, a move I didn't even know existed, kills the Zazan, and now Glacial Flagbearer is in a 1v3, but finds a double kill. And now who wins this 1v1? Because I actually do not know the answer to this. You would think it's the Ice unit, but this is a very, very old Ice unit in Gilgamesh versus a very, very new unit in Glaciella Flagbearer. Who is going to win this? 10 AP refreshed onto the Glaciella here. Gilgamesh, they both have about the same amount of AP. Triple Trick comes through, breaking the barrier on Glaciella, doing a nice little chain here. What can Glaciella follow up with? Triple Cross, getting through his barrier as well. And this is going to be down to the wire, but the reflex comes out from Glaciella, and is that enough to turn it? Gilgamesh only has 13 AP. Finding that counter here. But no, the Clairvoyant Blade counter comes out from Gilgamesh, so he says, hey, nice counter, I've got one too. Gilgamesh follows up with a standard attack, and Glaciella lives it. Does she kill? Otherwise, he would need another Clairvoyant. Oh my god, he got another Clairvoyant Blade. You've got to be kidding me. Glaciella with the reflex and Gilgamesh with 2 straight Clairvoyant Blade reactions. And with the weirdest team comp I've probably seen all season, Spike and Bebop's crew pull off the game 1 victory. GG. Heading into game number 2 here, we've got Spike running somewhat of a Red Mage composition along with a Summer Jaden, and Maverick going with the double light plus Zazan strategy. And I wonder if Spike's strategy this week is just to throw things that you wouldn't expect out and see what sticks. We'll have to find out. Greater Domain of Light coming out from the Lucio, expecting maybe the Dark team coming out from Spike. As Suns Out, Guns Out comes out from Summer Jaden. And I'm sure Spike's wishing that this was 1 week later where Summer Jaden catches his 140, but he is not 140 at the moment. Murmur's going to start channeling a spell. And looking at the movement here, I think Miranda's running Bowtie. I only saw 2 movement here as the Man Resist down comes out from Zazan, dealing a good chunk to the Miranda. Stone Gut comes out from the Murmur, not doing a whole lot to Lucio. We've seen this Lucio before. He is an absolute monster here. using about 40 of his 65 AP. Luminous Grace comes out. This is going to debuff the light resistance. How much damage is this going to do to the Murmur? Does it find AoE? It does not. It is only on Murmur. That is pretty good for Spike here. Summer Jaden's going to follow up. He should be able to find an AoE. This is Beachside Blastorama. If the slow lands on this, it could be pretty massive. I don't know if Lucio has slow res in his kit. The slow lands on Zazan, but not Lucio, and that is massive for Maverick because Lucio needs to hard carry here to have a chance. Water Good Expeller's going to come out and kill the Zazan. Lucio stands in strong though, but can Murmur find a kill? Last time she didn't do a whole lot. She's just going to go with the healing option. But all of a sudden, this looks very, very good for Spike here. It's a 3v2, fully healed, all three of them here. But the Limit Break comes out from Sylvie. This should fully heal Lucio, along with a one-hit barrier. Can he find an AoE? He's only got 25 AP. He finds Scintillating Eclipse. There's not an AoE, and he does not kill the Miranda here. Summer Jaden now has his opportunity to strike. He's going to go Maelstrom Jet in the back line, though, not going for the Lucio right up in their face. Resistance Break comes out from Miranda, and they're splitting the targets, meaning Maverick might still have a chance here. Sylvie typically does not have heals, though. She probably is going to go for full life here onto the Zazan. It does land with that healing power down. He does not come back with full health, though. And can Murmur find a kill on him? I think there's a chance. Only 4 AP on the Zazan, but does start doing a little bit of chip to the Summer Jaden. Lucio out of AP as well, finds the kill onto Miranda. And this fight is all over the board. I don't know what the hell's going on here. Midsummer Sniper's going to find the kill on Zazan. It is now back to a 2v2 with the full life, and now the kill. We're back on 2v2 action. Flare comes out for 7,100, though. That is doing way more than that Stonega did earlier. But True Paladin Strike comes out and kills the Summer Jaden. Sylvie finally joining the fight here, and Surge Strike will kill the Murmur, meaning Maverick wins game 2. This is going to a game 3 between these two Heinler teams. I'm super excited for it. Heading into game number 3 here, it is tied 1-1. Maverick, will he become the third straight 4 seed to win the series, or will Spike be able to pull off an upset? We'll have to find out. Let's jump into game 3. Final game of this series, guys, and we've got Spike's double dark composition coming out with Montleonis as the tank, and it looks like Maverick's running double light. And now, under most circumstances, I would give the edge to the Lucio team because he is very, very good against dark. However, one unit who can swing the tides of this a little bit is Black Rose Helena. She has a massive dark resistance debuff in her limit break, and she also has non-elemental, so this could be a pretty close fight. Greater Chi Barrier coming out from the Garvel. Black Rose Helen is going to go Harlequins, Hijinks, the Kefka TMR, Agility and Magic up on the entire squad. And what is Montleonis going to go for? Boon of the Lion, AoE resist up, and again, another unit who catches a massive buff next week with his Limit Break upgrade, but he does not have it this week. Zazan's going to follow up with a Killer Cross, drop that Human Resist. 1,200 damage is not a whole lot, but Sylvie's going to get Re-Raise and Shell online here. I'm curious to see who takes this. Garvel's going to follow up with the Concentrated Chi Lancer. I expect this to do a ton of damage to Zazan. 5,700 is not nearly as much as I expected, to be honest with you. He is normally not good at all against magic attacks, so he actually tanked that up decently well. Devastation will follow up and find the kill here. Maverick in a 2v3 disadvantage, but Lucio comes in with a Radiant Nova, dropping Bravery on both targets, but that barrier for Garvel putting in some work here. I imagine Sylvie going to start channeling a full life. She's going to do just that. Killer Drain Blade from the Mont going to barely heal him up any because Lucio is very, very tanky. And what can Garvel find here? The standard attack. He has plenty of AP, ladies and gentlemen. That means that there is that much dark resist on Lucio that his best course of action is a standard attack. This is Devastation coming up from Black Rose Helena, though. 4,600 damage is a good start, and this is that Elementalist attack I talked about, which can turn some of the tides. Lucio is almost out of AP. Sylvie needs to find a limit break. She is going to do it. Make-A-Wish is going to come out. This should full heal both units and give a one-hit barrier, giving Maverick signs of life here. Zazan's going to follow up. He's got no AP. Can he find any sort of damage? 2,000 is not bad on the crit. Garvel going to follow up. Twin Chi Rupture will take Zazan down. And that is Zazan the killable, it seems, as Black Rose Helen is going to follow up. Going to go with Tenable Rose. Does this kill Sylvie in one shot? She has Shell online, so I don't expect it to one shot, but 6,900 is a lot. She crucially does live it, though. Mont, can he find a kill? No, because he does not have the AP or the range to find Sylvie here. Lucio, again, basically out of AP, but he finds the kill on Mont, which could be pretty massive for Maverick, because now he does have enough to get something done. Cheerful Paladin Strike coming out from Sylvie, and the Black Rose Helena does live it. Garvel's going to go next. Spirit Blaster takes out the Sylvie, but she does have re-raise, finding a little bit of chip onto Lucio. And Lucio should be able to find this angle. I thought for a second, oh no, he goes Scintillating Eclipse on Garvel. I thought he would have went onto Black Rose Helena. That's actually good for Spike, because Black Rose Helena is actually the person who can actually deal damage here. Devastation comes out, 5,000 damage onto the Lucio. She needs one more spell to find the kill. Lucio needs to kill with the standard attack. 2868. I don't know how much health Black Rose Helena had at the moment, but I think it was probably close to that number. And Maverick and the Spaghetti Western with Lucio at the end pick up the Game 3 series victory. Both very, very well played by both teams. Some really interesting and creative team comps coming out from Spike. I think really trying to surprise Maverick in the first 2 games before he went with his one of his standard dark compositions. But either way, an incredibly fun series to watch. And Maverick makes it the 3rd team in a row to win as the 4th seed. And we only have one more series for you guys to watch. And that is my team versus Chisei's team. Let's check it out. Heading into game number 1 here, my team, the Xander Knaves versus Chisei's the Heretics. Chisei running the same comp that he brought to all 3 games in our series earlier this season, in which he won 2-1. Pinion of Steel coming out from Stern, and I am running a bit of a strange composition here, something that I have never ran before. And I said, hey, let's try and see how it works. Heart of Flutter coming out from Lucia, and you're thinking, why the hell is this gunner running way the hell forward? Catches a Quicken from the Marguerite, though. Can she get anything done on this Quicken? She's going to walk forward, finds the Sharpshoot on Naya, who normally has Hate Down, which tells me she is running a bow tie at the moment. She one-shots the healer. Quicken comes out. Lucia is going to go again immediately, finds a Spiteful Blast onto both, 5,600 damage onto Titus, and 7,400 onto the Stern, before most of Chisei's team gets to do much. Keenblade coming out from the Titus, though, and it is not over yet. Stern is going to go Convergence Plus, just barely landing the kill on Lucia. She had 7,000 health. It did 7,100 damage. Marguerite is going to start channeling another Quicken here as Saintly Fortress comes out from the Titus, but unfortunately for me on the timing here, the Quicken's going to go off just before Skahal would have taken his turn, so that really doesn't benefit me very much. Skahal's going to go up, though, shoot for a flare, and I need this to kill Titus to have a chance here. 8910 will take him out, which means it is now Stern versus 2, but he's going to pop his Reawakening buff. He's going to start walking forward, and Marguerite is going to start channeling another Quicken, but again, the timing on this is a bit weird. My timing was really only good for those first couple Quickens. After that, it's anybody's guess. Skahal's going to follow up, though. Does he find a kill? Flare is going to come off for 7,700 damage. He does find the kill. The re-raise is here, though, and he gets CT up, which means if he laps Skahal, Chisei Stern could still win this battle. He's going to walk forward, though. Debilitating counter kills the Stern, and I end up winning game 1. Guys, I'm not actually 100% sure there. If I didn't get the debilitating counter, I think he would have killed Skahal. I think he was just standard attacking, but I actually don't know for sure, and I don't know who would have went next in the turn order. So who knows how that would have ended up? I'm really not sure, but regardless, I ended up winning game 1, and let's head into the second game. Heading into game number 2 here, Chisei going to run the same 3 units, and I went back to my old Greatsword team, Order 66 composition, which I brought out in all 3 games versus him last time. Last time I won game 1 and lost game 2 and 3, but we'll see how this goes. Soldier's Honor coming out from the Cloud, attack up and AP recovery on crit, Keenblade coming out from the Schutzelt. I almost said Stern for some reason. I'm sorry, Schutzelt. As Fight Like a Pirate coming out from Rain. So this is a switch up, not something I've ran before, but the Haste TMR coming out on Rain here. As Dragon's Bloodline coming out from the Naya. Very smart option here for Chisei, trying to nullify Berserk and stop here. As Keenblade comes out from the Titus, he's going to walk forward, and you can see from the movement, Titus is now running Bowtie, which is why I didn't run the double quicken strategy. I said that can only work one time. Astral Guard comes out from the Rain. He's going to start walking forward, so he has plenty of hate at the moment, just like Titus does. And what is Naya going to go for? She's going to start channeling a spell. I imagine this to be a Protect, as Momentum comes out from my Cloud, and now I have double hasted up units, with Schutzelt going for Hazard Revival, giving himself that Courage, Nullify on a couple of statuses, and a massive heal back. Protect comes out from the Naya, so this Titus should be quite bulky to physical damage here, even though he has almost no slash resist at all. As Saintly Fortress comes out, that is a 3-hit barrier, and the Bowtie paying dividends here as he is not in range to hit Rain, and that barrier should help a bit here, as it looks like a Limit Break coming out from my range. Shining Nova, fire attack resist down, doing over 5,000 damage here. I'm actually very, very happy with, as Cloud is going to follow up. He's going to go Ascension, and that barrier on Titus is not long for this world. This is a nice little slash chain getting built up. 6,900 damage from the Cloud. Titus does live it, but can Shutsalt find the area? Yes, he can. He finds the kill onto Titus here, but the reflex for Stern means he does not take any damage, and my composition is stacked up in a nice little AoE. Rain is going to rechannel the Fight Like a Pirate here, as he does not have range skills turned on. He cannot find the Stern here. Cloud is going to go with a Blade Burst, the only attack he can find, but so much AoE resist on the Stern means he only takes 2,300 damage. And here comes Titus, one of the full life casts already used for Naya. And all of a sudden, what looked like it was very good for me, not so sure. We'll have to see. Infinite Light comes out, the Limit Break. He said, nice red lightsabers. I've got one too. A ton of damage onto all three, or at least a ton onto Shuts Out. Honestly, tanked pretty well by the other two, but the heal back is procced. Pressure Hazard comes out, lands the stop onto Titus, who no longer is nullified from that Dragon's Bloodline, but the stop wouldn't have mattered anyway, because Power Break from Rain does a ton of damage and takes him out. Braver will kill Stern. He has his re-raise online, though, and now it is Stern and Naya's turn. CT up on the Stern. How much damage can he find here? He's got 82 AP, and again, they're all stacked up, but Cloud said, hey, that was a nice reflex you did earlier. I've also got one of those. And he finds the AoE, not on Cloud, but on the other two. And crucially here, Shutsalt still has his Courage online, which is the only thing giving me a chance here. Power Break does 10,900 damage as Titus gets full life for a second time, because Naya gets 2 casts of full life. 100 Edge is going to hit all 3. I'm not sure if Cloud would have died or not to that reflex earlier, but at this moment, Shutsalt survives on 1 HP on his Courage. Cloud is going to slice Stern in half here. And here comes all 3 units versus Naya. She is a fantastic unit with 2 uses of full life, but I don't see any way that she can get out of this in a 3v1 here. She's going to start channeling a spell. It is a protect. It is not an attacking spell, and at this moment, it should be all but over. Shutsalt is going to make it look fancy by summoning Odin. Zan Tetsuken is going to come down to cut Naya in half here, but that is going to be the game 2 victory for my team, the Xanarkanaeves, and I end up winning the series 2-0. First of all, huge shout out to Chisei, just a really amazing person. Honestly, I just have such a good time playing against him. He's just a really fun dude. He's a very high-spirited guy. He's a very good player. He kicked my ass in the last series. I'm glad that I was able to get a little bit of revenge here. And in the game 1, again, I'm not sure if I got lucky there or not. I'm curious how it would have played out without the debilitating counter. But regardless, I ended up getting the game 1 victory and end up winning the series victory. I'm very, very excited about this. This is my first time ever being in the playoffs, and being able to win my first game here feels very, very good. And yeah, just really super excited about the results. So I'm sorry for Chisei, but I'm excited to keep it going. And let's go ahead and check out the bracket. All right, guys, 1 week of the playoffs officially over and done with. So now we are going to be in our round of 16 next week. And let's take a look at who ends up playing each other. So if I'm going to zoom in a little bit, go to the top side of the bracket here, which is essentially Rundal and Leonis mixed together. Surf Taco, Reagan against the Machine. The way that he ordered the teams on who he wanted to play, he actually preferred to play the 3rd seed, King Delita of the Arc-Knights, over Machen X of the Shumeto Alchemist. So King Delita did have a bye in the first week and got to dodge out on that first round, but he will unfortunately have to play against Surf Taco and Reagan against the Machine. And because of that, that means that Ready Player Will of the Pandas down here is against whoever's left over from the Leonis division, which means Machen X of the Shumeto Alchemist and Ready Player Will of the Pandas will face off against each other. On the other side of this, though, Sand Rooster, the Leonis 1 seed, who's been very dominant all season, he had to choose between the 3 Rundal seeds, and he ended up choosing Katra over Coppola. So Sand Rooster of Unicorn Gunfight preferred this choice here, which means Zulk of the Boko Buddies will face off against Coppola, which personally, of all the matchups in week 2, this might be the one I'm most excited to watch. These are 2 players who go way back in Friday Night Fights. Zulk was kind of the king, or one of the kings of Friday Night Fights early on. Then Coppola joined and started becoming the king of Friday Night Fights. So that's kind of an interesting match. It's also kind of like a dark versus light theme, and I'm kind of excited to watch that in the next week. Regardless, though, the way this is going to work now, so next round are these 8 teams, Surf Taco and King Delita. Whoever wins this will go right here, and we'll play against the winner of Zalk and Coppola. So Surf Taco versus King Delita, the winner of that versus Zalk and Coppola winner. Sand Rooster and Catra, the winner of that will play against the winner of Ready Player Will and Machen X down here. So hopefully that all makes sense, guys. But yeah, this is essentially the top half of the bracket is Rundle and Leonis. Now, let's scroll down to the bottom part of the bracket where it is Heinler and Wazette. Maverick of the Spaghetti Western with the 2-1 lead over Spike and Bebop's crew ends up facing against Ram 9 of the Rock Boys, the Wazette 1 seed, which means the Wazette 2 seed, McCrane and the Materia Hunters, ends up going against Crimson Lease and the Triumphant Trailblazers. On the other side of the bracket, JB79 and the Paranoid Androids preferred to play against my team, the Xanark and Abes, over the 3rd seed, numero 80, and the Blind Enthusiasts. So we've got a little bit of content creator face-off. Should be a lot of fun. I've never battled against JB79 in my entire life in any format, so this will be the first time I ever do it, and he'll probably kick my ass, but regardless, I'm pretty excited for it. Should be a lot of fun. So on the other side of it, the Turmbar and the Fire Ferrets will end up going against numero 80 and the Blind Enthusiasts. So again, scrolling up to next week, Ram 9 versus Maverick and Turmbar versus numero 80. The winner of those 2 series will face off against each other. JB79 and me, and then McCrane versus Crimson Lease. The winner of those 2 series will face off against each other. So I hope this all makes sense, guys. This is a zoomed out, look at the entire bracket, and I hope it at least looks a little cleaner. I think it does, now that some of the mess is gone with the 3rd seeds actually being able to be put where they're supposed to be. So I hope you guys enjoyed this week. I know I did. Excited to get my first ever playoff win on the board. Chisei, that guy is so friggin' cool. Had an absolute blast talking with him all week, and even though I won, I think he had a good time too. He's just a super positive, awesome person, and I was really, really thankful and fortunate to have that series against him last week, and looking forward to the one against JB79. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Check out the one next week where we have the top 16, and you guys have a wonderful day.